Hey guys, this is Karthik and today we're going to talk about the rumored XZ2 Xperia phones from Sony. Last month I unboxed the Sony Xperia XZ Premium and please check out the video if you haven't already. And the MWC is fast approaching. Actually, it's coming up next month and I have a feeling we're going to hear about the Samsung Galaxy S9 and the Sony Xperia XZ2 in that conference. I don't know why Sony comes up with all this weird naming conventions. It's first, it's hard to remember, and second, it's hard to tell which one is actually Sony's flagship based on the model numbers. For me, I think the XZ2 Premium is going to be the Sony's flagship because with this amazing 4K HDR display, and I think it's going to be a killer phone for Sony this year. So just to clear some confusion, here's the model number for the XZ2 and the XZ2 Premium. The H8541 is going to be the 4K HDR display XZ2 Premium, and the H8216 is going to be the 1080p display XZ2. So last year, the main difference between the XZ and the XZ Premium was the display. One had the 1080p display and the other had the 4K HDR display. So I think they're going to continue that trend into 2018, while the XZ2 will have the 1080p display and the XZ2 will have the 4K HDR display. Screen to body ratio is going to be the biggest topic this year. With all the phones fighting to improve the screen to body ratio with every upgrade, the XZ2 Premium is said to have an amazing 90% screen to body ratio. If you look at all the flagships released last year, you can tell this is a significant boost towards the bezel-less design for Sony. Common issue with bezel-less design is where would you put the fingerprint scanner, right? With iPhone 10, with OnePlus 5T and other phones already moving to the Face ID, other phones like the Razer phone and Xperia is going to have their fingerprint scanner on the power button. But the Razer phone had a really poor design where the power button was flush to the bezel, so you can't really tell where the power button is by just touching it, right? So I think Sony did a really good job last year with the XZ Premium. The power button was very well designed, but unfortunately the US version did not have the fingerprint ID enabled, so I didn't have a chance to test it. Hopefully when the XZ2 Premium releases in the US, the fingerprint ID is enabled, and I'll definitely check it out and let you guys know how it looks. The older version of the XZ Premium you see here had a large bezel, but that space was used really well by a really nice front-firing speakers. I'll be curious how the speakers are positioned and how they sound in the XZ2 Premium given how thin the bezel is going to be. We are going to get the latest Snapdragon 845 octa-core processor, which means we should see a lot of improvements in the camera section. Particularly the XZ2 will be able to shoot 4K footage at a higher frame rates. We already saw the 960 frames per second option for those killer slow motion videos with the older version, and it will be really interesting to see what Sony comes up with this new Snapdragon 845 chip. One of my favorite features on the older XZ Premium is the camera's manual function. You can completely put the camera in manual mode and adjust the ISO, shutter speed and exposure value to get exactly the look you want. So the camera is a really big win. But when it comes to automatic mode, I did find the camera was lacking when it comes to meeting the exposure correctly. So I'm really looking forward to the camera upgrades in the XZ2 Premium, given it's using the better Snapdragon 845 chip. This phone will ship with Android Oreo 8.0, 4GB RAM, 64GB internal storage with microSD card slot, so you can expand the storage up to 256GB. If you are shooting a lot of 4K at 60 frames per second, you can make good use of this cheap expandable storage. Talking about the expandable storage, one thing I noticed with the older XZ Premium was how flimsy and wobbly the SIM card and microSD card slot was. The first time I opened it, I really thought I broke something, and I hope this minor design flaws like this one is fixed in the new XZ2 Premium. Overall, this is one of the killer phones for a great price, and with a better hardware design, faster processor and better screen to display ratio, I think we'll be talking about this phone more in the near future, and I can't wait to hold this phone in my bare hands. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys have any questions, as I'm really active on the comment section. You can also talk to me on Twitter and Instagram. My social media handle is really easy to remember. It's Karthik Unboxed on everything. Hit me up with your questions if you want to know more about this phone. So I'll definitely do an unboxing and first impressions video when the XZ2 Premium is released. So please subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll know the moment I post that video. I'll see you guys in the next one.